Welcome to the channel if it's your first time here, and welcome back if it's not. Now, a good few years ago, I asked the question, can you fit a monitor arm onto an IKEA desk? And the answer was yes. And that video's done really well. I wasn't expecting it to. It was a bit of a random one that I sort of cobbled together, and lots of people have watched it and been really interested in it. Now, that's all well and good, and my monitors have been mounted beautifully ever since, but just recently, I've had a massive monitor upgrade. And I mean that in several senses of the word. You see, behind me is a 39-inch curved ultra-wide LG monitor, and I love it so much. It's really, really good. But at the moment, it's on the supplied stand because the monitor arm that I had before, it didn't support ultra-wide monitors and a monitor as heavy as that one. So I needed a new monitor arm, and I opted for this one. Now, I'll put it up on screen. I got it from Amazon. I think I paid around £80 for this. I think the retail price of this is around about £95, but there's usually some sort of discount voucher that can instantly knock off 15 quid. Now, this is designed to hold two ultra-wide monitors. Now, obviously, I've only got one and my slightly smaller monitor above that, so this should be more than capable of holding it, but will my IKEA desk support it? That is the question. It is an articulating monitor arm, so it's rated for flat monitors between 2 and 27 kilograms. The rating in pounds is under there. For curved monitors, it's rated from 2 to 22 kilograms, and again, the pound rating is there. It says it can accept a screen size of 24 to 57 inches. It's compatible with the VESA mounting of 75 by 75 or 100 by 100, and it's got a swivel range of plus 90 degrees and minus 90 degrees, a tilt range of plus and minus 20 degrees. It's got cable management, and it says it's curved. I think that just means it supports curved monitors. And as well as being held onto the desk with a clamp, which is the method I'm going to use, you can also grommet mount it, so put a hole through your desk and mount it through a hole in your desk. I would not recommend that straight off the bat with IKEA desks. If you've got a solid wood desk, go for it. But because IKEA desks are essentially sort of thin layers of wood with a kind of cardboard construction inside them, yeah, drilling holes into them I don't think is a good idea. I haven't done it. It might work perfectly, but it just feels a little bit funny to me. Now, what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to unbox this and have a little look at it here on my desk with the overhead camera, and then I'm going to sort of get it set up on my desk and show you a bit of that. Now, before I unbox this, I actually got something else with it. Now, you might remember if you watch my other video about mounting a monitor onto an IKEA desk, I actually used a piece of wood underneath the desk as a bit of bracing for it, which has worked perfectly. The monitor arm is still standing. But now you don't need a piece of wood, because with this monitor arm I purchased this add-on. I think it's actually made by a different company, but it came up when I was looking at monitor arms, and essentially it just spreads the weight of your monitor arm and monitors across the plate rather than exactly where the clamp is. I think this was around about £15, and I'll make sure a link to it is in the video description. And stuff like this I purchased with the help of my channel members. So if you want to help this channel financially, so it means I can buy things like this to show you on camera, then just scan the QR code in the corner of the screen, and make sure you appreciate all those awesome people that are scrolling by at the moment who have already become channel members. Okay, so it takes you through the steps of putting the clamp together. It seems to be suitable for desks that are between 10 and 50 millimeters thick. I think that's probably about 20 or 18 mil, so that should be fine. And the through-hole grommet insulation is for desks between 10 to 45 millimeters. So anything above that, this won't fit. And yeah, it's just got some assembly instructions, a list of all the bits and bobs that come with it. Okay, so these are the poles that the arms actually go on. Very thick, very good quality. So yeah, you essentially screw them together and that makes one long pole. These are so beefy. So these are what the monitor actually clamps onto. Okay, so it's got these little thumb screw guys. Aha, so you can mount this onto the back of your monitor and then slide it onto the arm and hook it in position, and then use those two thumb screws that I've just dropped to mount it in place. We've got an Allen key head there, so you can loosen that to alter the tilt. And again, we've got another Allen key head there, so you can alter the rotation. But it's quite good. It's got this removable plate for you to put onto the back of the monitor separately, because it's very hard to hold up a monitor onto one of these and screw it in position, especially if you're doing it on your own. Cool, so that's one of those. We've got another one of those for our second monitor. So this is our guy that goes onto the desk. This is our clamp. So it's got little rubber feet there, and I guess we unscrew it and this pulls out and we can adjust the depth of it. So if you don't have the reinforcing plate, that is the footprint that your desk will have of the monitor arm. So that's not very big at all. I'd say that's probably about 8 centimeters by 8 centimeters ish. So this is the guy that will go onto your monitor arm. This goes onto the pole, and then you tighten it up here, and then your monitor arm plonks into there, and you're done. And there's a little grub screw at the front of it where you can stop it from tilting left to right. This actually feels a lot more solid than I was expecting. It's definitely not the cheapest monitor arm there is, but it's certainly not the most expensive either. Now, obviously this monitor arm doesn't allow you to pull the monitor forward towards you. It's sort of fixed. You can tilt it forwards and backwards, but because there's fewer joints, I guess it offers more stability, and I guess that's why it's the price it is. It's sort of a good solid product, but it's not overly engineered or complicated. And these seem to be just some cable management clips. One that slides into the back there, and then just one more that goes up the arm. So there's not tons of cable management. So this is obviously a sort of reinforcement piece if you're grommet mounting this. These bolts and these washers are probably designed to be screwed into the back of your monitor to mount your mounting plates. I guess because we can't really assemble much of this before I start installing it, we should just have a quick look at this reinforcement plate and see what's what. Oh, so it comes with a sort of... Oh, right, I see. So it comes with this... I was like, why is this here? So essentially, it comes with the sort of blank piece of metal, and then it comes with like this giant padded sticker which sticks onto this. So because we're using this plate, we do have a slightly bigger footprint onto our desk. But even that's not massive. So 18 centimeters by about 14.8 centimeters. So not huge. So this larger piece sits on top of the desk. And yeah, this smaller piece, again, it's got a adhesive padded guy. Goes underneath the desk to spread the load. So yeah, essentially our finished monitor arm, when it's on the desk, will look something like that, which is fine. It's a lot less real estate of desk that the monitor arm that the monitor comes with takes up, and yeah, that's a all right size really. I didn't mention, but there's also an Allen key and a sort of a flat screwdriver head included in this bag to do the smaller Allen key heads and adjust these little grub screw things on here. But you can just use a regular flat screwdriver. You don't need a special one. Guess it's now time for me to clear my desk and get everything into position. I think I'm going to change out of this because it's quite long and it's quite warm, and I think I need something a little bit more comfortable to film in. So yeah, let's switch things around and get this monitor arm installed. So I'd forgotten last time that I'd actually made a mark on the desk, which is the center point of the desk. So it makes getting our base plate in position a little bit easier, because I know exactly where the middle of the desk is. Now I've got the hole out the middle, I can actually see my line. So I know that that is perfectly centered. So there we go, that's our reinforcement plate on the top and the base of the monitor arm roughly in position. I've not tightened it up yet. So I'm underneath the desk now, as you might have guessed, and I've got the bottom plate roughly in position. It's still sort of loose. And then what I'll do is, as I tighten it up on the top, that'll gradually pull it up. I'll come back and check that it's all right in a second. Now obviously when you're tightening this up, you don't want to go too crazy, because you don't want to crush the desk. It's a real difficult balance of trying to sort of get it tight but not cause any damage. I think I'm nearly there. That is tightened up and in position. So now we've got our first pole. This is the one that's got the hole at the top. The one that's got a filled in top is the one that goes on the top. So there we go, that is the bottom one put in position. Just going to tighten the grub screws. So now we've got these guys, which is what our monitors are going to sit into. And we're going to put the first one on this first pole. I'm not put that on super tight now, because we might want to adjust it slightly. And yeah, this is what our monitor goes onto. So we'll take out the grub screws, and I'll mount this onto the monitor in a mo. So there we go, that's sort of roughly in position. Don't imagine the height is entirely right. We might have to drop it down a bit, but you get the idea. I've got my monitor off its stand now and revealed the VESA mount. So we've got to put the plate in position. So it goes something like that, because you need to have the hook guys facing outwards and these on the bottom. I mean, the arrow does kind of give you a clue, but just in case you don't know. Now, my monitor actually came with the bolts for it in here already. I'd taken those out, but I think I'm going to use these rather than the ones supplied with the arm, just because the ones supplied with the arm are a little bit longer, and obviously I don't really want to pierce the inside of the monitor, but I am using the washers that came with the monitor arm. So a slight change of plan now. I've actually taken this bit off the arm and put it onto the plate. Because of the size of this monitor and how cumbersome it is, I think it's actually easier to just slide this onto the arm rather than try and get this and the back plate on the monitor sort of married together. So yeah, that makes life a little bit easier. Right, so I'm going to get this second top pole on now, because it's got to go on at some point, so now seems as good a time as any. That is a very big pole, that's what she said, sorry. Now, it's a bit difficult to know exactly where this second one should be in relation to this bottom one, so I'm just going to put it roughly where I think, and we'll see how it goes. It's obviously a lot easier to take the lighter top monitor off than the heavier bottom monitor, and I think once I've got that in position, that's just going to have to stay there. Well, I feel like we're getting there now. I think I've got the gap right between the two. So I think what I should do is get the second monitor and put it on top and see how it looks. This monitor is a lot easier to handle. Well, there we go. It's mounted nicely behind me. I'm really pleased with actually how it's turned out. Now, the thing is, with a sort of setup like this, it does take a few days to kind of get used to it, and you might have to twist the monitors slightly to adjust the angles to get them exactly how you want them. But I've certainly got a good starting point there. I could maybe bring the top one down a little bit. I'm going to see how it feels after I've used it for a few days. But that monitor arm is really, really good. It feels very, very sturdy. The reinforcement plates definitely help as well. Although I feel like maybe the one on the bottom could be a little bit bigger. Hopefully, we shouldn't have any problems. But obviously, if there are ever any problems with it, I will do a follow-up video. But it's looking really, really good. So if you are interested in the monitor mount that I've used for this project, I'll make sure that that is in the video description, as well as a reinforcing plate as well. So now I guess I've got to sit at my desk, edit this video and sort of tweak things a little bit to make sure they're in the perfect position for me to do my work. But I'm really pleased with the amount of desk space that it's kind of freed up. Sorry if this video's been a bit all over the place. Installing stuff like this and filming it is quite hard, but I've tried my best. So it's got to be worth a like, hasn't it? Definitely. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, but for now, it's game over.